Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Aurora and Merida are down here just a snoozing. Say hi. So I'll give everybody a minute or two to see that we are, or a second or two to see that we're online and live. And then we're going to talk about heart health. Today is Go Red Day for heart health. And while human heart health is very important, heart health for our dogs is also very important. And there are some ways of feeding that can leave your pet void of the necessities that they need to keep a healthy heart. And so this has made the news a lot in the last several years. I'm sure if you haven't heard about DCM in dogs and diet related DCM in dogs, a simple Google search is going to pull up all kinds of crazy information and a lot of opinion articles. And unfortunately, not a whole lot is really decided about that other than just some real strong opinions. But one of the things I did do is put in the comments a link to what is a wonderful Facebook Live session that was done by Ryan Yamka. And it is on another independent store's Facebook page. It's about a 2-hour watch, so it is very lengthy. But if you're interested to know more about DCM and kind of the research to this point, how it got started, what caused all the hubbub, and kind of the history before and what we knew about DCM before this all got started, it is a great watch. Lots of wonderful information. And if you know anything about Ryan Yamka, you know that he's very thorough in his research. And this Facebook Live is no different. It's extremely thorough, goes over all of the information, how it all got started, and got linked to being connected to grain-free diets, when in reality, there is no connection directly to a grain-free diet and DCM. There is no proven link. And so if you have heard, don't feed your pet grain-free food, you're going to give them a heart condition, the reality is that's not accurate. And the FDA did come back out and say that is not accurate information. It is a multi-factor thing that happens, DCM. And DCM existed long before grain-free food. And it's not just directly connected to grain-free diets. But if you are concerned, we want to talk about different ways that you can help support your pet's heart and different supplements that you can make sure that they're getting everything that they need. So I have said previously on my Facebook Lives, one of the things that most kibble-fed dogs are lacking is proper omegas. And omegas are really important for heart health. And you can get omegas mostly from fish, krill, things like sardines, anchovies, salmon. Salmon oil is very popular. But you can also get it from some plant-based sources, like algae, which is actually how the omegas get into fish. And what make fish really rich in omegas is their eating of the algae. So we have lots of different supplements here, but omegas are very unstable. And so when you have a kibble-fed dog, they typically do not get a whole lot of omegas. So we recommend if you're feeding a premium kibble, no matter what premium kibble it is, you need to be giving an omega supplement so that they're getting omega 3, 6, and 9 added back into their diet. I recommend always rotating what those omega supplements are. Do not always give krill. Do not always give anchovy. Do not always give salmon. Rotate what you give so that you're giving them a nice rotational diet. Rotation is important for lots of different reasons. One, it gives them more variety. But the other thing is, if you come into our store and we happen to be out of the Grizzly krill oil, then you could pick up the Ultra Oil Skin and Coat and substitute that for that rotation so that you're not dependent upon one product, because We may not have it on our shelf when you come in to purchase it for one reason or another. So you want to make sure you're always rotating the different omegas that you're giving. That is number one. We have lots of different options. We have Herbsmith Pure Krill. This is more of a dry supplement. So if your pet doesn't really like the oils on their food, you can do this. And it does have a little bit of a fishy algae type smell to it. If they really don't like fishy smells, something maybe more like the Grizzly Algae, which is a plant-based omega supplement, or the Ultra Oil, which is sardine, anchovy, and hemp seed oil. So these are all great oils. We have Brilliant Salmon Oil, which is a very popular one. That color is so beautiful. But this sells really well, this Brilliant Salmon Oil. It's wild caught salmon, not farm raised, which is also very important. So these are some great different omegas you can rotate. The other thing that you really want is to make sure that your pet is getting a lot of taurine or getting plenty of taurine. Cats cannot synthesize taurine on their own. They need to have taurine provided in its as taurine. With dogs, they can take other amino acids and synthesize taurine on their own in their body. So you have things like Heart Healthy Wags. These are some treats that are very rich in taurine. They also have L-carnitine, dandelion extract, hawthorn berry extract, bilberry extract, and egg albumin. All really, really heart healthy ingredients to help strengthen the heart. So if you have a dog that has a weaker heart, has congestive heart failure, or maybe is a breed that is prone to heart issues, those would be some great treats. Here's another one. This is by Green Coast Pet. It's a whitefish flavor. This is taurine. It's 250 milligrams per chew. And it's got taurine, L-carnitine, and CoQ10 in it. And so the dosage on this would be like, say for a Merida, 5 to 25 pound dog, a half a chew a day. So these are some great options for you. Talking about DCM, you need to make sure, if you are concerned, to go in and watch the link that I've posted in this post. It'll be a great information segment. Do a lot of time for it, or watch it in segments and pause it. It's got so much good information. But I think the mistake gets made in saying that it's just a grain-free issue. It is not a grain-free issue. They have not been able to tie it to just grain-free foods. It does appear to have perhaps been more of a information collection bias that linked it to grain-free foods. When they started out this piece, they had a hypothesis that they were seeing an increase in DCM diagnosis, and they sent out a memo to vets and asked for them to respond with DCM cases for pets that were being fed a grain-free diet. Well, if you ask for information on pets being diagnosed with DCM that are being fed a grain-free diet, and that's your collection pool, then that's going to appear that that's what's causing it. But all these years later, 4 years later, in fact, from the opinion article, we still have not proven any kind of connection to diet-related DCM. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist in some dogs, that changing the diet does improve their heart health and their DCM diagnosis, but the medicine that gets added in and everything else also improves those things. So lots to be known and said about that, and lots to be said about keeping your pet's heart healthy. And so we have all of these omega supplements over in our supplement aisle. And again, if you are feeding a kibble diet, strictly kibble diet, we definitely recommend adding in the omegas for your pet's heart and skin and coat health, because they're not getting enough already just from their kibble. So you want to make sure you're adding that in. And then our good friend goat milk. We love goat milk. Goat milk is extremely rich in taurine and is such a wonderful addition to a kibble diet. And if you've heard me talk about pet feeding, you know that I say add in moisture. And goat milk is a perfect vehicle for digestion. It helps with digestion, makes it easier for your body to your pet's body to uptake the nutrition from the food that you're giving them. So make sure you are putting lots of moisture on their kibble. Yes, it does look like cereal if you put it over kibble, but it is great. It's packed with prebiotics, probiotics, taurine, has all kinds of really, really good nutrition in it. And it does make it look like cereal. But it also is just a great vehicle for the nutrition to get into the cells in the body. Marty said she's never lost a dog to heart condition. I feed grain-free with a fish dry topper. That is true, Marty. It is very true. Grain-free is not the connection. And there's really not any evidence that there's been an increase. There's not a whole lot of evidence that indeed there's been an increase. So again, I cannot recommend that link enough if you are concerned about DCM. It was very informative. It put all of the information known to date in one place and was so very helpful, and especially from someone who knows so much about pet nutrition. Ryan Yamka is great. He is a PhD pet nutritionist. He has so much good information about pet nutrition. Yes, Marty says, I use what looks like a juice box for moisture. You're probably using bone broth, Marty, and it comes in Tetra Paks, and they do indeed look like juice boxes because juice boxes are Tetra Paks. And when it comes to bone broth, now that Marty's talking about bone broth, I was just giving this caution to somebody the other day. I love bone broth as a moisture additive to kibble as well. Bone broth is very rich in glucosamine and chondroitin. It has all of the good things that you cook out of those bones and make a nice, thick, gelatinous broth. But when we talk about bone broth that you can purchase in the grocery store for human consumption, you need to make sure that you're checking the back of that bone broth. Make sure it doesn't have sodium added in, but also make sure it does not have onions. Onions are not safe for dogs or cats. It can damage their kidneys, so you want to make sure that whatever bone broth you're feeding to your pet doesn't have onions. And as Marty has said, she gets the bone broth here from our store. What we sell is pet safe bone broth. And it is such a great moisture vehicle for kibble as well, in addition to goat milk. Let me know if you have any questions out there. We'll be happy to answer any questions. But definitely take some time this month to consider the omega supplement that you're giving your pet and make sure that you are giving them a good omega supplement in addition to their kibble so that they are getting the omegas that they need, especially here in the wintertime when you get dry coats. Right, Merida? Yeah, Emily says they do bone broth ice cubes when it's warm. That's another great way to get moisture into the body. Moisture is a great vehicle. It opens up the cells and makes it easier for a cell to uptake the nutrition that's coming from all of the good food that we feed them. So moisture, moisture, moisture is good stuff. Well, hopefully that's it on the questions, but if not, we're here. Keep commenting on this thread while you're watching it, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. We do have a few dental boxes left for the month, so if you're interested in getting a subscription box, we really just have a couple left, so you want to make sure that you get your order placed, and we will get that out to you. But they are really good this month. They are for pet dental health. And, well, I guess Merida's teeth are not a really good way to show you, but I've been giving my dogs the Plaque Off, which is a sample of that is included in our boxes this month. And I haven't as much noticed it on Merida because she doesn't have as many teeth, but I have a larger dog who's 14 and his teeth had a fair amount of plaque on them. And giving him that Plaque Off has made a huge difference. I've noticed it coming off in chunks. Which says a lot of good things about Plaque Off and adding it to your pet's food every day. So we love Plaque Off, and we love what it's doing for them to keep them from having to go under anesthesia for dentals. So definitely take a look into Plaque Off. And next week, we will be talking about CBD. I know it is a confusing topic for many. We do love CBD and love all the great things it can do. But we will talk about the companies and why it matters that you have a pet product versus a human consumable CBD product and all the different ways you can give CBD. So we'll talk about that next week on Friday, and hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Hope it's a better weekend weather than what we've had the last couple days. Have a lovely weekend, y'all. Talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me.